everyone. Welcome to the Creative Talk. And we have a special guest for today's episode. I am blown away. I am blown away. And she's waving her hands. I'm blown away because first, I feel a connection with this person because she is partly or full Filipino, but living in California. And I am so inspired. As you can see in her background, she has like sewing machine. So that's a giveaway tip. Ta-da! A very, very talented person, very beautiful, very kind and humble. Guys, she's a fashion designer, by the way, an international fashion designer. Ooh, ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Not so techie, not so techie person. Yeah, that's her boyfriend's role.
Yes.
Let's all welcome a creative talk. Welcome to Rachel Pilla. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited.
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's actually 11, yeah, 11 at nighttime here. This is
Okay.
usually my time, so I'm like a night person, so I'm pretty much alive still.
Wow, nice, nice. So, I'm excited, and I know our viewers and our listeners are very excited to. Well, this is my question, right? When you
Mhm.
say fashion designer, fashion designing, um, the first thing, or the first collection that comes into my mind is glamour, glamour. Very
Mhm.
fabulous, and it's all about being flashy and dynamic. But I know that's very shallow. So that's the reason why you're here. I want to know, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners want to know first, what is a fashion designer, and what does a fashion designer do in this modern age, right?
Yes. So pretty much as a fashion designer, I know the whole glamorous the way you just defined. That is true, of course. That is what we aim for in the public eye. But honestly, like behind the scenes, there's so much more into it that people don't know. There's a lot of work put into it, a lot of time, a lot of your ideas. It's all about creativity and expressing what you love and what you're inspired from. And it takes numerous amount of hours just to make a piece of clothing, even though sometimes it could be just a basic shirt that can take like 2 days to make just to get the right fit.
Two
Yeah.
days for a
Yeah.
shirt. Come on.
I mean, it could be longer just so that, there's a lot of like research behind it. You got to go to the right manufacturer, the right textile. So it depends on quality and what you're looking for.
Wow.
There's a
I love
lot of
that.
work.
It's a lot of work. I mean, for a single
Yeah.
shirt, for an expert like you, an international fashion designer, and it takes 2 days. How much more to people like us? It would take like a month.
Oh gosh.
Rachel, I'm curious now. I'm curious now.
Mhm.
With that complexity, it's very intricate, and it's not easy. There
Yeah.
is a big part of art, design, and creative approach in it. How did you came to be a fashion designer? What is the story? How did you? So, who influenced you, or what influenced you to be in that position you are right now?
So pretty much growing up as a kid, I've always been into art. I love drawing or anything like painting, and I pretty much learned over time. It was when I hit during like middle school, so that was like about sixth grade. I was watching a lot of like TV shows, a lot of celebrities wearing gowns. But from there, I kind of took like my drawing like aesthetics into implementing into clothing. It started off from drawing first. I didn't sew anything at all, but that's pretty much where I got inspired from is from celebrities, how they they dress up and how they present themselves. And then it wasn't until probably around senior year of my high school that's when I've decided like okay, like I've been having the interest of always drawing clothing and pretty much styling it myself. But I still didn't know how to sew at that moment. But that's when I decided to take on like, hey, okay, I just need to go to college, go to my dream college, which was FITM. And then that's when I decided to take a part of fashion.
Oh, so
And
you really studied, you really enrolled yourself to a like
yes.
a cohesive program in
Mhm.
what, in fashion designing, or in like sewing in per se?
Fashion designing. So that's
Ooh,
the major, yes. So pretty much a part of, sewing is already in there, knowing how to sketch is in there, having to work with different programs like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes down to
wow.
it.
It's so fascinating because it's like you have the background of the technique, and then you're utilizing digital softwares and programs, and then in your case you go back to manual arts because you need to sketch, you need to cut, using scissors, you need to stitch. Wow. So that's
Yeah.
because in my case,
Mhm.
I don't know, same as you, I took up fine arts, but major in advertising, and that's the reason why I'm
Mhm.
in branding. That's the reason why
Uh-huh.
I'm a branding coach. And then I took up a secondary, an IB program for visual
Mhm.
arts. So, but you can see the approach and the journey I'm taking is more on the digital, But in
Yeah.
your perspective, it's mixed. You mentioned Adobe Illustrator. I mean, those are design tools, and
Yes.
you are using both. How does that work?
So, when it comes to production in the fashion industry, just starting off from a sketch, right? You design something, let's say it's a dress. But for it to come to real life, you really have to do all the research. When you send it into productions, Adobe Illustrator comes in handy. So there's this thing called drawing out flats. So it's pretty much like a front and back detailed of the actual dress on, like, pretty much it's like a drawing on the computer. That's how it's supposed to look like. So it's more detailed, more vivid, and then that's when they take all the specs down, all the measurements, so that throughout production it goes well. So it's, there's a lot of people have different understanding of things, and you can't be vague about it.
Wow, that's like tips already, like
Mhm.
the
Yes.
process and how you do work. I'm gonna go back on that point later,
Mhm.
and you can see that my facial expression is just so high because I'm just amazed. First, because I'm learning a lot from in fashion designing from a
Mhm.
very talented person like you, and
Thank
second is
you.
no, it's true. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. People, there are more of us out there that
Mhm.
has a shallow understanding of what the fashion designer or the fashion industry
Mhm.
is all about. So
Yes.
you giving us like example the approach, the process on how you do stuff, even though it's basic, man, that's mind blowing. Um, so you mentioned your journey, how you came to be, who
Mhm.
influenced you. What was the greatest challenge you encounter in fashion designing?
Oh, dang.
And
I
I
feel
want
like
you to be
there's a
honest.
lot. Yeah, of course. I feel like the biggest challenge was pretty much just, I feel like time management was one of them. Just because, like you said, there are a lot of parts to designing. It's just not drawing something and sewing something already, unless that is your job. But other than that, I think just having to conquer your fear of putting yourself out there to begin with. Being a perfectionist too, I think that's very difficult to overcome just because,
Are
like,
you a perfectionist?
yeah, pretty
Ah,
much.
come on.
I like being, like, perfect on things. I just don't want things to pretty much not turn
Right,
out
right.
right.
Hmm,
I think a lot of people are like that.
hmm.
You just want things to look great. But honestly, like, that kind of like took too much of my time. I feel like I should have just spent less time on that and just moving on to the next thing. Yeah, those are pretty much the challenges I had to overcome.
So that's basically you are creating your own problem if you're a
Yeah,
perfectionist, right?
pretty much.
I'm Rachel. So do you make or create design for certain clients, or do you do it on your own for yourself, and then what you like an exhibit like a catwalk? How is what do you do? Do you service a client or do you do it for yourself?
So I actually service a client. Right now, I don't have a preference just because since like I'm just freelancing at the moment, I'm open to anything, but mainly to specify fashion instead of costume design. I've had people ask me like, "Oh, can you make this anime costume?" I didn't really want to replica that, so I just wanted to be original on my own. But I did have a few of my stuff that I work from school that I showcased on the runway. We have like a school fashion show. So that would be the closest thing that'll be actually on a runway. But most of my projects, yeah, I try to reach out to clients or they reach out to me. It's mainly a lot of my friends or connections that knows of me and they ask me like, "Hey, can you design this?" Like I had a friend who have a baby boy and she wants something done for his birthday. So I was like, "Okay, like I'll do that for you." So I really love doing that. I love understanding people's personalities and implementing my style into that design.
Wow. And I'm sure with your caliber, with your talent, you will go places, Rachel.
Thank
Um,
you.
and yeah, I mean, guys, feel free to check her out. Her Instagram posts are really mind blowing. I know there's technicalities beyond the photographs and the photographer's
Mhm.
skills, but the the core itself, you can see that this person has this knowledge in mix matching clothes, the tones, the value of the color, and everything. So that speaks a lot. Um, what are your tips, Rachel? Basic tips for our viewers, our listeners that have the heart, the same heart as you do, and they're probably having this idea that, hey, I want to start a business in fashion designing, but I'm
Mhm.
scared because one, I don't know what to do, where to start. Second, I might be judged. And that's gonna
Yeah.
be my question for you later, that judging part. So prepare
Yes.
yourself. All right. Any tips that you can share? Basic tips for people that wants to start in the business of fashion
Fashion.
industry.
My tip, since I did just launch my brand recently, it's been a dream of mine having my own. But we all get scared. Like, what if this is gonna happen? I don't have the budget for it. But I feel like honestly, like during this time, during the pandemic, I feel like a lot of people had a hard time, growing as their own brand. But I just decided, just hey, let's go for it. Actually, my boyfriend kind of talked me into it, like, hey, maybe we should start something more on the budget instead of making clothing. Why won't we start off making masks? So, another good idea is start off with something essential, but also
Right.
not so much to produce.
Mm.
So that would be a tip. But if you are going for something bigger and you have the budget for it, I would just say just go for it because you don't know where it's gonna land. You don't know who you're gonna reach out to. I've had a lot of people who actually really like the product. I mean, of course, there are people there who won't, it's not their style. So, it's okay. Not everybody is gonna like it. And, we're the same way as our own person. But as long as you're doing something that you love and you feel passionate for and you believe in it, I prefer for you to just go for it. You never know where you land on.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. It's such an inspiring. It sounds so basic, but when you
Mhm.
really, dig into the context of what you just
Mhm.
said, it really makes everything smooth. You mentioned that
Mhm.
not everyone will like what you create or what you do.
Yeah.
Now, this brings me to my next question because I'm really excited to know your perspective, especially now that, we are, and I'm sure you're using social media to promote your stuff, right?
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
have you ever been judged by the social media people
Oh,
on
yes.
social media
All the
that
time. All the time.
what's the story behind it? What's the story behind it?
So
The
when I
worst.
jumped
Pick the
in
worst.
the worst one, okay. I feel like it's just mainly just comments. I feel like that's how far it's gonna go.
Right,
That's
right.
why whenever I tell people, I know there's cyberbullying out there, and I understand that people are sensitive about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I we all have our certain sensitivity. When I first got into social media, that was probably about I want to say back in 2014. That's when I started jumping into like Instagram,
Right.
YouTube. So YouTube was actually the one that I jumped into that kind of like made me go on public even more. I created this video pretty much focusing on, fashion and beauty lovers. And I kind of went off like, hey guys, like, let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Knowing that nobody really knows about me. But I started this video. It's like a morning routine of what I do in the morning. It's just some people just love watching those. I mean, I personally do too, just because I like the aesthetics. I like
Right,
what kind of
right.
coffee you're doing. Yeah, it's really silly to like how it sounds, but honestly, it's super
You should share me
interesting.
that link. You should share
Oh
me that
god,
link. I want to check
okay.
it out. All right,
Oh god,
okay.
you'll see me waking up in the morning. Oh
Okay,
gosh,
okay.
it's
Was
it's
that
there, it's
scripted?
there.
Was that scripted or was that like,
It was
natural raw?
it was pretty much scripted in a way, but it's natural that showing you this is
Right.
what I do on a daily.
Okay,
That was
so
like, yeah, a
what
long time.
happened? What was the comment that you received that is kind of negative?
I received a comment from this one person. He was pretty much saying, "Oh, like, why do people like watching this? Like, who would want to watch your boring morning routine? Like, no one needs to know what coffee you use or like what you drink or where you're waking up from, what kind of Listerine and all of that." Oh gosh, I remember that moment, and I kind of just felt so judged. I was like, "Oh gosh, like But then at the same time, I look up to these influencers who have done the same thing, and I'm just thinking to myself, why am I going to let someone take that away from me from something I'm passionate about? And that's what makes me happy. I'm not going to let someone take away that from me. I'm not doing any harm at all. So it's okay.
You're
We
right.
learn from it.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I mean, clearly, he's those person that made that
Mhm.
comment is not your market. So
Mhm.
if they don't like to watch the content that you're producing, so just leave.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I I always say this. I always say this to
Mhm.
people that produces stuff and uses social media to promote them.
Mhm.
You are doing it not for any validation of the people because you will never
Yeah.
get that, right?
Yeah. It's really
If you
hard.
have,
Yeah.
yes, of course, if you have that perspective though, which it's natural, you will get stressed
Yes.
because you can, like, let's say for today, you made something, you put it out there and people loved it. Good, you feel that validation from them, the
Mhm.
acceptance. What
Yeah.
happens now is the next day they could change their freaking mind. They could
Yeah.
hate you, they could forget you and move
Mhm.
on. And then you will feel that, hey, what's wrong? What did I
Mhm.
did something that I deserve this? Things like that. So you will never
Yeah.
get that full validation from people. Although you will have solid followers, and I'm sure you do have that core, that those
Mhm.
friends, those people that really believe
Yes.
in you, loved
Mhm.
you, and who will stick to you until the end. So that's where the
Yes.
positivity in that. But
Yes.
do not look for validation online. I mean, that's gonna be stressful. That's gonna rob you of your
Mhm.
peace, and your life will be a big freaking mess.
Yes, I agree. That's why it's good to have your own small circle, and that's just the people you go to. You ask your opinions about it, but it is hard pleasing everybody. So there's just so much you can do, and there is a limit to how far you can hear from others. Let's say you do want to please your audience, but there are limitations to it. You don't want to like go off of something that you're not comfortable with to begin with. But I would
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. Because I was like, there's a, I think that was last week. I had a
Mhm.
guest in the podcast.
Uh-huh.
That there was a certain season in her life that she felt that she was just following what her core
Mhm.
is, what they want. So she's
Yeah.
producing stuff. She's a designer. She's producing stuff that
Mhm.
is okay. It's really in the A level, but then she
Mhm.
doesn't like what she's doing anymore. She's only doing it because of that's what her followers
Mhm.
is what they
Yeah.
want. So in your perspective, have you ever felt that, that your clients or your colleagues are giving you so much input that it's robbing your freedom?
Yeah, I've had a couple times where I get into those situations, but then when I do realize, I kind of just step back from it. I feel like over time, I've kind of experimented with social media too and what my niche is, just because I do fashion, but other than that, I want to implement my hobbies within to it. So there was a point in time where I got really into cars. So I kind of got into myself like into the car club, and then people are like telling me like, "Oh, you should build your car this way, or you should fix it up." But like it got to the point where like, okay, no, like I kind of just want to just do my own thing. Like this is not really something I want. Yeah, I feel like just having those boundaries set there. You don't want to, like you said, stress yourself out and put yourself in the wrong place. So that's very important. So I understand how situations like that can be very uncomfortable.
Wow. My respect to you just went all the way up. Because it's I'm an artist also, and
Mhm.
I know the complexity of of what you do, the design that it's
Mhm.
involved, and for hearing you with that perspective, um, it's such an inspiring thing that you are creating. First, you're in a foreign country, may it be
Mhm.
that you're a citizen or something. People will judge you, and then you're in social media, which by the
Mhm.
way, there's a lot of interior designer, fashion designer, artists that are also utilizing social media. They're doing what you do. So
Yes.
again, there's judgment, there's competition. But
Mhm.
hearing now your perspective, you're just doing what you love. Your
Yes.
story about the
Mhm.
car thing, even though there's people that would give you opinions, draw you, pulling you into that pit of competition,
Mhm.
you still stood your ground and you're relaxed. You have, I'm amazed because I can just see such a positive vibe. I don't know if
Thank
you're
you.
faking it or,
Oh,
but
no.
I'm really amazed. I can see, a positive vibe, such a cheerful heart full of peace and joy.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
something you need to maintain that. And I'm sure you
Yes.
can share that to people around you, maybe your
Oh,
clients or
yes.
people that patronize your
Mhm.
stuff. That's a powerful combination.
Yes, I love giving out advice just to see how I can help out others who are going through the same thing. I mean, I've kind of just been through it already, and just I just need to watch out too. Still, like now, I'm actually getting into gaming, but I don't want to fall myself into that pit hole, like you said, too much. But I just want to do something that I like doing, putting it aside. But yeah, just putting yourself out there that way, I think that's the best advice I can give.
Wow. So you're into gaming now. That is does
Just
that
a tiny bit.
does does that explains the computer chair, the gaming chair,
Yes.
sorry, and then the gaming headphones?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm
Then
building my first PC, so this is
wow,
something new,
wow,
yeah.
wow. Which game in particular
Oh,
do
I
you
love
have in
Modern
mind?
Warfare.
Ooh,
Call of
ooh.
Duty.
Have you tried Valorant though? Because I play
No, I
Valorant.
haven't. Okay, I have my best friend's boyfriend actually plays Valorant, and yeah, I've
Mm.
seen him play it. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not so sure if I can get into it. I'm really picky when it comes to games, but definitely Modern Warfare. I'm enjoying it. I'm not really great, but it's
But
fun.
we're in the same boat. I love the concept of playing with my
Yeah.
friends. So some of
Oh,
my
of
clients and
course.
partners are from Australia and a different region, so we
Uh-huh.
play together. But then I'm not. I think I die more often than I can kill
Oh, it's
people.
okay. We actually have a joke on that with my boyfriend. Whenever we play all together, he would always get the most deaths, and we would always feel like, "You're always winning with that streak." And he'll be so happy about it, like he accomplished something.
Well, the good part is when I'm when we're playing the game and then I'm dead, I have more time sending messages in Instagram or
A little break time. You're like, "Okay,
yeah,
hold on."
it's not actually a little break. It's like the gaming. me playing, that's the break. Because I can spend like what 2 minutes, and then I'm dead for like what 20 minutes waiting for my teammates to finish the game.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's that kind of game.
No, no,
Okay.
but Valorant, I'm not getting paid to promote Valorant, but
Mhm.
Valorant is so unique because aside from your weapons that you can use, you have
Uh-huh.
this special abilities. The each character that you use, they call it agents. It
Uh-huh.
has unique abilities that only you can use. So
Oh.
there are times that you don't need weapons. I mean, you
Uh-huh.
can you can use them, or it's up to you. But because of
Uh-huh.
your abilities, you can really finish the game just relying on those special abilities. There are stealth, there are
Oh,
team
okay.
powers. It's just an amazing take on first person shooter games. So
Yeah. Oh,
feel
that's
free
so
to try it
interesting.
out.
Okay, I'm gonna try that out now. I
All
didn't
right,
know that
Riot, and Valorant. I am open for promotions. I just promoted your game, which is
though.
awesome. Okay, we're open for it.
Got another subscriber here.
I'm gonna change my career. I'm not a branding coach anymore. I'm gonna be a game caster. Woo!
Let's get on Twitch. Let's stream.
Yeah, yeah. But my expertise would be how to manage stress because of dying too much. Right, right.
Hey,
So
that's a talent right there.
that's a talent. That's a different mindset.
Yes.
Well, that was a good side story about games. How about Rachel? Before we continue to the next part, can you
Mhm.
share something about basic perspective from you?
Mhm.
What does it take to be a fashion designer? Do you need to be, for example, do you need to be advanced in arts, or do you need to be good in drawing? Do you need to be
Mhm.
familiar with colors or something like that? So it's up to you if you're gonna take this take this question
Mhm.
in a technical route or more
Uh-huh.
in realistic approach. So what does it take to be a fashion designer?
I feel like to be a fashion designer, first of all, you do need to be passionate about it. You do need to have patience. That's number one thing because everything takes time and things are not always going to be perfect. So I guess it gets stressful a lot. I've been in a lot of those situations. But for the technical side, I you don't really need to be the best drawer out there. You don't need to be the best at that. That's not really what I would recommend. As long as you have the idea, you have the vision, and you believe in it, that's really what matters. And when you get into the more techie side, saying like if you need to know the right colors and all that, I feel like that already implements to your vision. So if that's what you see, then that's what you go for. And when it comes to the actual like production, then you do have to be more detailed about that. But there are some designers out there who just kind of like work on their own, like how I do it. I just do my own custom work. I don't really have a manufacturer or anything of that sort. I pretty much just do what I do. It is it is helpful to go to school for it, or at least be in a program that teaches you more side of it, just because if you do want to custom make your own clothing, you have to know how to do patterns. And that's the part that gets really difficult at times because, knowing the right fit, everyone has different types of body. You do need to just have your own sizing to it and adjusting to things, alteration. Those are the important parts I would suggest that would be the important part to be advanced in, just so that you don't make your mistakes just because things are costly and things you can't afford it like over and over again. Because there is a one time where I bought some fabric and it kind of went to waste just because I made a mistake in cutting. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I learned, but good thing I didn't spend too much on it. So just things like that. It's just you don't want to mess up throughout the process, but it's a trial and error, so it's
Mm.
okay. But those are pretty much like my advice and how it is to be a fashion designer.
Wow. Well, the good part is if you do commit a lot of mistakes, you have a
Mhm.
lot of tablecloths or,
Mhm.
doormats that you can use from the scrap material, right? You can
Yeah,
make
that could work too. We could try.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we could work it out.
Right, right, right.
Yes, yeah, there are some
Um
parts.
yeah, sorry. There are some parts that you were saying?
There are some parts that can't be fixed. So
Oh
it is,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
when you're creating when you're creating a like for example a shirt,
mhm.
how big do you need? How big? Like, is it 1 yard? Is it
It
enough for a shirt?
One
Or
yard can be enough for sure, but depending on the size, that's really just what it matters. So
ah,
yeah, sometimes I don't know if you have ever came across, but sometimes it's kind of just unfair when you do custom work for people who have different sizing. Um Sometimes between their sizing you end up spending so much and then you end up charging them too much just because their sizing's a little bit more. So that's the part that gets kind of complicated, but it does depends on sizing though when you're buying a shirt. But for just a basic, like average size shirt, I would say maybe like a yard and a half would be enough.
wow. So
Mhm.
that's another knowledge bomb. You
Mhm.
really need to focus on the sizing, right?
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Too much. There's a lot of learning.
Yes, there is.
Thank you so much for giving us actually a lot of tips, perspective. Now we have, you know, it's like listening to a wonderful story, knowing the ins and outs of, the fashion industry from a
Mhm.
very respectful and very talented fashion designer. Like now, Rachel,
Mhm.
we are in the part of the show that we will play a game.
All right.
Okay. So we
Valorant.
call it no, no, not Valorant. We can, but this part of the show, we call it the creative fast talk. All right.
Okay.
So how it works is we will ask you random questions,
Mhm.
so random that I did not know those questions until midway of this conversation. My team just gave me the set of questions, although I can choose which one to go first. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So these questions are has nothing to do with your expertise, our topic, or your background. Nothing. So it's
Okay.
really random. Okay. It's like
All right.
it's fun, it's stupid, it's just, random. Okay.
Okay.
Don't spend too much time in thinking what the right answer would be. So just whatever you that comes into your mind, just shoot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
The goal of this part is for for people to see that we are really humans. In spite of
Mhm.
you being a fashion designer, very fashion focused, artistic human being, and digital entrepreneur,
Mhm.
this is also a side that, hey, Rachel is human after all. She laughs. She sometimes don't know what to say for like silly questions asked. So that's the goal of this part. All
That
right.
sounds good.
Okay. Question number one. What is your favorite weather?
My favorite weather, I would say fall and winter,
Ooh,
even though we don't
okay.
really have that in California.
Yeah.
I wish I experienced it, but for this season here, yes, fall and winter.
Right, right. Okay. Love or money?
Love for
Okay.
sure.
Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Oh, I'll go with YouTube. I'll go with
Okay,
YouTube. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Text or call?
I'd rather call
Okay. Chocolates or vanilla?
chocolates.
If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
Um, I've always wanted. Well, I feel like it just kind of ties into my zodiac sign. I've always liked the lion. I'm a
Oof.
Leo, so just because it represents a lot of bravery, leadership, loyalty, I feel like it represents a lot to it. So I would definitely would love to be a lion.
Wow. Okay. Favorite TV show?
Ooh, there's a lot, but my all-time favorite, Once Upon a Time. I'm a
Oh
Disney
yeah, that's
fan.
so long.
I know.
But
I'm a
I
Disney
like.
fan.
Yeah, but it's so unique. I love the approach.
Yeah, it's a
It's
bit
a different
different.
take, right? It's a
Mhm.
different
There's a lot of
approach
twists.
in yeah, like yeah, the twist. It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very
You don't
nice.
expect it too much. Like,
Yeah.
it's not your ordinary Disney fairy
Right,
tale. There's a
right,
little twist
right.
to it, yeah.
I love that too. But it's so long and it's just, it's stressful just seeing those seasons and those episodes.
Yes.
So, okay.
You're like, what?
Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, dang. That's hard. Just because I like a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna help you with this. Top three.
Top
Top three movies
three.
of all time.
I definitely love Haunted Mansion. I've
Oof.
replayed that so many times, especially during the season. I'm really known for that. A lot of people like to troll on me on social media for just watching Haunted Mansion again. Another one, any Avengers movie. I really like action. Those are really fun.
Mm.
Another third one. I feel I can't really choose which one to be exact, but I love like just princess movies, Disney princess movies. I grew up with that. I'm
I
just one
will
of
not
those
ask
little
why.
girls.
Oh, okay. Having said that, what is
Mhm.
your favorite Disney princess? Who is your favorite Disney princess?
I have 3.
All right, okay, shoot.
Okay, top 3 again.
Top three.
Snow White, pretty much, because I grew up with her. She was like
Right,
my
right.
idol when I was a kid. Third one would be Jasmine.
Oof. Yeah.
I really love Aladdin. Oh gosh, yes, that is the other movie that I really love. The live action one, they did a really good job. That's what
Right,
I
right,
think, in my
right.
opinion.
Me too.
Um, the other one, I don't know if she considered as a princess, but
Oh.
it's Megara from Hercules.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I guess she could
Yeah.
be like a goddess, but she's not really a goddess, but I do love her character in there.
Nice, 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 nice,
Mhm.
nice combination. And my all-time favorite Disney
Mhm.
movie is Aladdin. So
Oh,
yeah, I
nice.
just love the the culture, the character, and
Mhm.
then when they made the movie, the
Mhm.
vibrance of the colors, it's so
Yeah, they did a
rich, right?
yes, they did a great job, especially with the costume designing. I really love
Yeah,
that.
oh no,
Yeah.
that's why you love it.
Yes.
Right, right, right.
Yes, it's really good.
It was weird though for Will Smith to play the genie, but
Mhm.
yeah, he
He
did a
pulled
good
it
one.
off. Yeah, he
Yeah,
pulled it
yeah.
off. Yeah, it was
Right, right.
good.
Next, toothbrush or soap?
Oh, oh damn. Oh dang. Maybe I'll choose soap. Maybe I can put that on my mouth. Gotta use it for more than one thing.
Yeah, why not?
Just don't poison yourself.
Well, you will gargle, and then that's where
Yeah,
the part
there it
that gets
is.
funny. Um, that's weird. What is the weirdest food you ever tried?
The weirdest food. That's actually really tough. Because I feel I feel like I've never really tried anything weird. Uh, because I'm open to like I know there's some people who doesn't like to eat oysters or sushi, like sashimi. Um, but I don't know. I've never gone far to like eating insects or anything like that. I would never do that. I'm scared of bugs, so that's not a thing for me.
Although when I think when I was in Thailand, or it's either Thailand or
Uh-huh.
Cambodia, there's garlic stir fried veggies
Mhm.
with crickets.
Oh no.
And yeah, but the funny thing was the crickets were really deep fried, and if you don't know
Mhm.
that they're crickets, you would first
Probably
think
like
that it's
yeah.
like how like a brown garlic is when they're like deep fried.
Yeah, yeah.
So they look like that. They don't taste
Mhm.
anything weird
Mhm.
because of the spiciness and the flavor of the vegetables.
Yeah, it
But
distracts it.
yeah, but they also serve grubs that are raw. So
Yeah.
that's where it gets weird.
Yeah, I was like, "No, I'm not going that far."
That's where when you bite the insect, the juice gets out
Oh,
and it's just
no.
uh.
I can't do that.
No, I didn't try
Oh
that. I was
gosh.
just messing. I'm just
Okay.
messing it up. No,
I mean, that'd be
no, no,
cool,
no.
yeah, but I just can't.
No, it's not. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. No. Let those insects live and,
Yeah.
let
Yeah,
them be.
just stay there. Don't touch them.
Right, right. Just
Yeah.
go away. Okay. Last question. A bit serious
Mhm.
one though. Um, if you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead,
Mhm.
who would it be and why?
Mhm. Oh, that is tough. I'm like really diving into it. Oh gosh. I feel like I would want to bring back my ancestors, like, maybe my great 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 grandma from my mom's side of family, just because I kind of know my family history. I don't know for how it is in your family, but for Filipinos, we say that we're full Filipinos, but then sometimes, like, I wonder if I am I mixed, or I kind of just want to see my true family tree. I'm really interested into that. I think that's pretty much what I would bring back.
Wow. Uh,
Mhm.
I am again. I am amazed because I was not expecting that. No, it's. I'm just being realistic.
Mhm.
People, especially Filipinos,
Yeah.
when they are in a different country and for so
Mhm.
long, they embrace that. Regardless of the which
Mhm.
nationality or passport you're holding, but they
Mhm.
totally forget the roots that they have. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. They have their reason, and that's their right.
Mhm. Yeah.
But hearing this from you, a thriving, rising star, a fashion designer in California, having this heart to really know about your roots, your culture in the Philippines, may
Mhm.
it be in a different country, right?
Yeah.
So that just gets my respect. So I
Thank
really
you.
value that perspective. I really value that mindset. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that says a lot. Yeah, perfect talent, skills, looks, humor, and now cultural, and it's so much value combined in a wonderful person like you. So
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
right, right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for sharing those tips, learnings, having fun with us, and talking about games. um, Feel free to promote any releases, your social media platforms, your
Mhm.
accounts, or any project you're working on, collaborations. The floor is yours. Feel free to promote them.
Oh, thank you. So I have my Instagram page. It's just Rachelle Pila. That's RACHELLEPILA. I do have a brand that I just started, like I said. It's called Lux Vision. It's LUXVZN.com. You'll just see pretty much custom masks from there, and I am actually launching more coming up. So I've been on the works on that. It's just taking some time. But for other projects, I am working on my blog site. I haven't actually announced it yet. This is my first time announcing it. I'll go ahead and share that within my Instagram page once it's there. But other than that, YouTube, yeah, same thing. I feel like all my links will just pretty much on my social media on Instagram. That's like my main source. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. Guys, check her out. Her YouTube account, her Instagram account. Such a wonderful person. You will learn a lot. You'll get inspired. I am blown away. Thank you so much, Rachel, for spending the time here with us in the Creative Talk. Guys,
Thank
feel
you.
free to check us out in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes. We have a YouTube channel and our IG accounts and Facebook. Feel free to drop by and say hello. So thank you, Rachel, for being such a wonderful, wonderful guest here in the Creative Talk. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure our listeners and our viewers are really amazed hearing wonderful stories and learnings
Thank
from you.
you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much for having me here. I feel so honored. This is my first one.
Right. Thank you so much, guys, and stay safe. Be creative, inspire, have a positive outlook in life. All right, stay safe. God bless. This is the Creative Talk with John Santos and Rachel Pilla.